guys, Ramblin Bob here again. So I just wanted to address one more question that some of the scribers had. And they had a question about that darn power meter of the E2000LFP. Okay, so I just want to reiterate, this is how we figured out how it works. The power meter is the weak part of this system. And what I mean by that is if you charge through these batteries, it has trouble understanding in the power meter the energy that's flowing through the batteries in a reverse motion, as in coming in from a solar chargers or a wall charger and then going backwards into the system, kind of behind the wall of the power meter. So the power meter doesn't understand that because it's kind of going around it. So that makes sense. The system was not designed to be charged through the batteries while hooked to a whole system, even though we do it from time to time. Matter of fact, we have it right now where we have a lot of power, probably 1,000 watts coming in. Now, this is what happens after the batteries are completely full and the charging stops, but the power meter is still incorrect. What happens is you notice that that's approximately 20 watts higher than what I'm drawing out. I'm drawing out about 450 watts, and I'm bringing in approximately, well, you know, it'll spike up and down, about 20 watts. See that? About 20 watts difference, anywhere from 20 to 25. Guys, it takes about 20 watts to run this system. Okay, if it was just on standby, it takes about 20 watts to run this whole system per hour. So that's why it's a difference of 20 watts. Now, what you'll see in real time here, guys, is this number will go up every it's usually about 1 to 3 minutes. I could see 1 to 5 minutes depending on how much power is coming in. But what it's doing is it's self-correcting itself. And that was, like I said, probably the hugest drawback with this system was the power meter. But to be fair, remember, the system was not designed to be charged like that. These were designed to be charged by themselves, right? And not hooked to the system per se. So when you do hook the whole thing together and the energy is flowing backwards to the system, this meter gets confused. Now what they did is PECRON fixed this with the E1500LFP, and I have that coming hopefully within this week, they said. So it's on the slow boat, if you know what I mean. That boat takes a long time. It's got to go around typhoons and hurricanes and all kinds of problems, and then not to mention overseas with all the headaches going on in the world. So hopefully we'll get that very soon, guys. But I wanted to show you this video in real time for the last 4%, as you'll see it correct itself in real time. Now I'm also charging out this one into my Oukitel at about 105 watts, 107, 106, that varies, only because I'm power dumping. So when I have so much solar coming in, I try to save some of the energy in another box or another form. That way I don't lose it. The worst part about solar, guys, is when your batteries are full and the sun is shining. That's got to be one of the worst feelings ever, because you're wasting that free energy. And I'll power dump it and save it into another system, like lickety split. I'll do that. So okay, oh, see there, it just went up to 97%. Now notice that if the only difference here is about 20 to 25 watts, there's no way that this could go up 1%. 1% is actually 80 watts on a machine like this. How you get that is you take the full setup, which is 8,000 watt hours, and you divide it by 100. It's simple. So then you have 80 times 100, which is 8,000. It's approximate, but it's a pretty good. It's actually 80. I think it's like 80.5, 80.4, something like that. But anyways, just you average it of about 80 watts per hour is 1%. That's the easiest way that we found out how to do this, and we have a lot of experience with this model, guys. We have been inside and out of this model. We've ripped it apart, we've taken it apart, we've learned everything there is about it. But I just want this video to go one more time because one of the scribers had a question and they must have missed the video. So I just want to kind of go over it again, and just to make sure that they fully understand how to correct their power meter. Like I said, I wish this had a self-correcting one, but the E1500, the new one, does. And I think, like I said, they didn't expect it to be charged this way. They probably assumed, and rightfully so, that everyone would charge it through these two main inputs, right? So like I said, when you bring it, like I have probably 1,000 watts coming in, 600 on one and probably maybe 400 or 500 on the other one. So it's definitely more than 1,000 watts, whatever's coming in. My meters are Yeah, they're up there. So what it'll do is it'll hold back the energy, because obviously, like, the system is not charging anymore. It's basically running similar to a charge through. Basically, it's using the energy, the 430 watts I pulled out. Like here, it'll go faster if, well, here, I'll show you in real time. So this little, let me grab this little heater, guys. If you guys remember this little my heater, Lasco, if I turn that off, watch the power drop down, okay? So I'll turn that down to, now it's 255. Now notice that the input dropped down, but notice that it's still about that 20 watts, right? Now I'm going to turn that heater back on because it's chilly in here this morning, so I'm going to put the heater back on. But notice, guys, that you'll see that that'll balance about 20 watts higher than what I'm using. And see how it went up another percent, 98%. So what the system is doing is self-correcting. So I just, like I said, I want to reiterate this again, because I really, that's the whole point of the channel. I want people to enjoy their technology. I want them to understand, even if we all learn together, that's the whole key. I want them to understand and enjoy the use of their technology. Guys, this stuff is not cheap, and I want people to have full understanding, if possible, of what to expect with a system like this, or how to correct things. This is the only way that I found out how to self-correct this. Like, if I were to unplug all the solar right now, guys, this power meter will maintain about 2% off until I do this again. So it does not self-correct. And I just wanted to say that again and again and again, because I still have people questioning that, of how to correct this power meter. But I'm going to let it go the last 2%, just so you guys can see it in real time. Boy, I wish this thing would stay on for testing, but that's okay. I'll push the button for you guys 1,000 times if that's what it takes. We've gotten a ton of very nice comments, you know, that, you know, we're helping people and things like that. And believe me, it's no worries at all. Like I said, that's why we started this channel, is so we can all grow as a team. The Scriber family is exactly what it says. It's a team of people who really like a certain subject or hobby, and we all help each other try to figure out the best way how to use our technology. I think that's a very powerful thing in itself. Plus, when you have a bunch of people, see, 99%. You see, I went up one more, but notice, so it went up, what, 3% about? What was it, 96, 97, 90? So about 3%, right? When I first started filming, I think this was 96. It might have been 97, but I think it was 96. Anyway, there's no way that this small amount, that 20, 25 watts, would ever push this meter up that fast, because, like I said, it takes 80 watts per hour to change this meter 1%. So you'll see it finalize, and then notice that this will stay the same. But yeah, that's why we started the channel, guys, just to help people. That's the, you know, the goal. I'd like to do this for a living. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy learning. This is a hobby that's caught me by an absolute storm. I cannot go one day now without, like, literally not one day without wondering what new products are out there, or what haven't I seen yet. It's endless, guys. I pop over to any website, Bluetti, PECRON, VTOMAN, ACOUCOU, and every day, Goal Zero, EcoFlow, every day I find something that I didn't see before, or I learned something new, and it's just, you feel like a kid in a candy store. It's like, I want to try out every piece of candy in that store. I like, in this little workshop that we have here, I want to have every power station in the world. Is that going to happen? No, it's not going to happen. But that's the whole dreams of a kid, is to want and to hope for. So when you can find something in life that really attracts you like that, as far as a hobby, boy, hold on to it, guys. Like the last time I had a hobby that was this much fun for me was drones and RC cars. Now, I'm an old kid, guys. I like RC cars, and I've been driving them and riding them and flying them for longer than I can remember. I mean, I was 2 years old probably when I got my first RC style thing with a cord on it, you know. And oh, okay, there you go. See, so it just popped to 100%. Now notice that we're still drawing out, obviously 110. But so here, let me show you. So I'll take off the DC, so that'll stop this one from charging to 100%, or 100 watts, right? Now notice that this number didn't move. That's how much power we have coming in, guys. And then I'll turn off the little Lasco My heater, and then you'll see that drop down about 170 some watts or so. Now notice that this followed it. This is that 240 plus it's about 20 watts, guys. 244 plus 20, well, it keeps changing. Okay, so it's about 20 watts difference all the time. Now I'll turn the DC back on. You'll see that this go up, and now watch this go up, guys. This will go up to about 300, I'm guessing. Let me see. It's got to recorrect here. Oh no, I'm sorry, because DC goes up here. So notice that these numbers didn't change at all, right? So they're still the same. It's still a 241 plus approximately 20 watts, right? And that fluctuates obviously because if the fans are on, or if this is brighter or dim. There's so many things that eat up power that are right in front of our face that we don't really notice or realize. Like something as simple as me just refreshing this to make it brighter, that obviously has to use more energy to make that brighter. The fans, there's 2, 4, let's see, I think there's 6 fans inside this system, guys, that I recall. There's 2 here right on the sides. There's 2, one each on MPPT controllers. They each have their own, and then there's 2 that are on the fins, which are the cooling sinks that are on the middle of the AC board. The inverter board, one on each of those cooling sinks at the beginning, where it shoves the energy through it and cools down all the what have yous in there. But I'll turn the heater back on, guys. Okay, now notice that will follow it. It'll take a second to correct because remember, it's getting the energy from the panels. So the BMS and the MPPT controllers have to talk to the panels and say, oh, we need more power, and then as you see, it's filtering in. So what I'll do now is I'll plug in something that's quite heavy. I think it's like 1500 watts, I believe. It's up there. It's an air fryer. Okay, so let me plug this in here. But notice, guys, notice that this power meter is now 100% reset. No pun intended. It's 100% reset. And now if I unplug everything, this power meter will be perfect for the remainder of its discharge. And then of course, if you have energy still coming in this one or this one, that's where this gets messed up. And like I said, I don't think this is PECRON's fault at all, because this system was not really designed to work this way. Should it have been? Sure. Absolutely, I agree, because like I said, we charge it that way. We have 4 arrays in there. We have a let's see, this first one is 600 watts of the Harbor Freight 100 watt monocrystalline panels. This second one is 800 watts of the ROC panels, those big new ones that I hung on the fence there. In this battery, we have 800 watts of REC panels that we hung on the fence, because we have 2 different sets of those that are in parallel. And then this one is 800 watts of Acopower 200 watt monocrystalline panels, which is an 800 watt array series parallel. So we have 800, 800, 800, and 600. Now of course you're not going to get all that, guys, because you're limited to only 400 watts, 400 watts, 600 watts, and 600 watts, which is a total of 2000 watts total. I mean, we've gotten that, but this will only show about 1200 watts, and then the other 800, obviously you have to use other gauges and meters to analyze that or record that. So what I'm going to do is here is you'll watch this, okay, and we're going to turn off the my heater, and that's going to go down to maybe like 140, 150, something like that. Let's see, let me move some of this stuff out of the way here, guys. The workshop is full of stuff today. I got lots of things I'm fixing here. Okay, so notice that went down to about 180, and then 176 plus 20 is, see that? It followed it. And we're still charging the DC out, guys. So remember that. So that's charging straight through the battery, or straight through the solar panel, out through here, which we don't use much. I'm just extra power dumping. But on the E1500 LFP, you're going to have that 12 XTC, remember that 12 times 30, and I'd like to pull the energy out of there and power dump it into a secondary system like that for backup. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to turn this on so you can see it. I'm holding the camera with my hands, so I apologize. Now watch this meter, okay? I'm going to turn this on. This bad boy is going to go crazy, guys. It's going to go crazy. Okay, so I'm going to start. It's a 400 watt air fryer. Now notice this went mental here. It's almost 1600 watts, guys. But notice this. Watch this one. Okay, see how it's going straight up? Like I said, we probably have, I don't know exactly what it is right now. We had about 1000 watts coming in before I started making this video. But notice it just keeps creeping up here, guys, by about 10 watts. That's the MPPT controllers and the BMS communicating with the solar panels and all 4 arrays, well actually all 2, because remember it doesn't understand the 2 on the batteries, and it's trying to grab energy where it can to replace the energy that I'm taking out. So now notice here, this is almost 600 watts here, right? So this, if this is 600 watts coming in right now with the shades and the clouds and the shadows and everything, and notice it's still going up, then that means that this could be up to 800 watts, 400 and 400. So here we got 650 watts coming in. And remember, it has to empty the batteries, guys, before it tries to fill them, right? Let's see here. All right, so we got just under 700 watts here coming in, and we almost have 1500 watts coming out. Now I'm going to stop the test because I don't want, let me stop it here, since we maxed it out up here already, and I know for sure I have at least easily 400 watts coming into the batteries. So we're definitely bringing in 1000 watts or plus total with the entire system. But remember, this battery meter does not understand that, because this meter only understands what comes through these 3 ports, guys, and we don't use this one anymore at all. It's just it's too small, it's too unstable. You know, it heats up quick because of that little barrel, or not barrel fans. But the energy coming in through that one and that one, which, see the little arrays here, we got little 5-pinners going into each one of these. So we're easily pulling in 1000 watts. And now notice that this is still 664, right? And we're watching it in real time. Oh, that's a bad number here, guys. Cover it up. Bad luck. So now you have, it's still at 100%, but notice that it's still filling. And now for real, you can actually see it really filling. So you see how that confuses the power meter, guys, is when you start taking energy out and then filling it back through the batteries. This gets confused. So the only way to reset it, guys, is to fully charge this one, that one, and that one, and then let it kind of idle while still being, you know, quote unquote charged. But here, see, notice how it's dropping real quick, guys. So we're finalizing. Let me unplug this one here. We don't need that air fryer no more. Maybe I'll make something goodies later. But okay, so notice it's dropping here, guys. It's dropping about 10 watts every few seconds here. But notice it's 28.5. 28.6 is the highest it usually gets. Sometimes it'll go to 28.7, but it's very rare. 28.6 is what my system is designed to like float at, or, you know, like, I think it's called float charge, where it's just a little bit over, like a trickle charge kind of thing. But notice it's still dropping, guys. Here, see? Now it's dropping. Let me see here. Voltage is still 122. Power factor is 0.6, 0.7, which means the stuff I have hooked to it is not as efficient as it could be. Okay, so let's see here. And then notice this is still coming down now. So basically, it's just tapering off the last bits of cells. And once this gets down, which there it is. So notice that this literally equaled that 20 watts again. If you take 170, well, see, it keeps moving, guys, but you can see that and that is about 20 watts difference. And now the system is completely fully charged again, and the power meter's at 100. I'm still power dumping 100 watts into my Oukitel, right? Like, so if I turn this off, remember the DC, this number stays, because the energy that you take out through the DC affects the number coming in. But since it's full already, when you turn this on, it doesn't even show on the meter, because it's going right through here, right into there. So, and I just want to fill this up, guys. Like I said, these are our backup systems now. We have the 2 Oukitels. We use them as backup. And what we like to do is have 2 kilowatts and 2 kilowatts on backup in case we need to power dump the reverse way into the main system, or use that for standalone models. That's what we like to do. But notice it's 100% perfect again, guys. It's 100% perfect. And let's see if we can do it again. Let's do it again. I love tests, guys. I really do. Let's turn off the DC. Okay. We're gonna plug in. I just don't want it to pop, because, like I said, I have my fridge and my freezer hooked to this too. And if the fridge kicks on, if the compressor kicks on the same time I'm drawing almost 1600 watts, that'll push it over the 2000 watt, and it'll pop the inverter where I have to reset it. So let's turn it on here, Beep, beep. Okay, there we go. Now you're going to see this go crazy again, guys. Look at that, 1600 watts on. But that's, you know, back in the caveman days, if you will, the hardest thing to, you know, to create is fire, heat, and energy. So if we all had unlimited energy, we'd have probably a better world to live in, you know. But cooking, heating, and let's see, heating water, that's obviously the most power consumption load that you would have, unless you have monster power tools too. But see, now notice this shot back up to 7, plus we have up to 800 coming in on the 400 on this one and 400 on this one, which would be about 1500 watts coming in. So notice it's literally bringing in what I'm taking out. That's why this isn't moving here. So we're gonna let it go just a little bit here. All right, we're just let it go in real time here, and then we'll show one more time. Okay, now we're gonna turn that off, because like I said, I don't want that bad boy to kick on the compressors and then pop this inverter. So I'm timing it off memory here. Okay, so we're using 176 again, and we're bringing in 734. Now remember, this is 100%, right? So this definitely maybe should have dropped down possibly 1%. But because we're bringing in through the batteries, it didn't understand that. So this will taper off again. You could turn the DC on because that doesn't affect it, right? See how it's still at 7? So that means we're bringing in a lot. Oh, there, it went down 100. So it did affect it this time because clouds or the shade or whatever. All right, so we're bringing in, oh, see how it dropped down another 100? So that means that, oh, another 100, another 30. See that? So it's resetting itself. But guys, I just want to make this video again, just to hammer it in people's heads, just so they don't forget, because I really want them to enjoy their systems, guys. I have learned every possible thing that I think I could learn with this system. I think possible. I don't know. This has been a year of straight college, if you will, where every morning I'd come in and I'd learn a little bit more about the system. And as with all of these guys, we have a lot of these things now. This is our favorite hobby ever. And here, see, now it's going to taper off. And let's see, it's going to go down. So this, if you look at this math, this should be about 200 watts when it's done. And notice it's continuously dropping. And there you go. See that? Almost a perfect guesstimation here. That's exactly 20 watts. But like I said, it uses about 20 watts, guys. It could be 21, it could be 15. It all depends on what's running, the fans, the screen. If it's hot, it's got to cool down, turn on more fans. So, but there's your 20 watts, guys. Look at that. All right, so I just want to make this video again, guys. If you're not a scriber, man, join the scriber family. Come on, let's do this. We can all figure out all these headaches with all these systems. I mean, every system has quirks in it. I don't think there's a perfect system out there. I really don't. I've tested 11 power stations myself, some big, some very small, and I found little quirks with all of them. Like when I got this Bluetti here, this darn light here. Oh, holy crapzilla, that was bright. Sorry, guys. That died on real time. So, like, you know, during the video. So it doesn't mean Bluetti is a bad company. It's just that there's an issue. You know, there was an issue with the light, and you know they replaced it. They fixed it. This one, the power capacity. You know, the battery capacity. This is a 2,000 watt power station, right? 2,000 watt hour power station, but I can only get 1,550 watts out of here as a capacity. So nothing is really perfect, I don't think. These two work great on the system though. The 100 watt out and the 100 watt out, you can literally bring out 200 watts, 20 volts at 5 amps out of each one of these at the same time. That is a monster good thing for this system. But then you lose 450 watts of battery capacity, which that's huge. That's huge for that system. So I will be testing this one. Some of the folks said that when they used it and they charged it at the same time, the charging would stop. And I have a theory with it, but I haven't tested it yet. Maybe it's because there's only one MPPT controller in here, and it's bidirectional, right? Input-output inverter board. So maybe that when you pass the 600 watts, it maybe overheats the board because, you know, input-output. That's just a theory of mine, but I have to test that. Mine doesn't do that. So, but I'll test that. Again, just, you know, on video, just to, you know, see if there's any effect to that. But so far, like, we used this at that live show, guys. Oh, and these are fake. These are fake, guys. These little Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle mouse. The grounds are fake. I think I said that in another video. But this system we used at that live show, and you know, we used it all day, and we had, I think, about 396 was as high as I could max the input, and the most I put out was, I think, just under 1,000 watts with the subs on, and it ran the whole day, and that's on video. So I don't know what people are experiencing, but I'll keep researching this one just to see if and you can see it still works fine. I'll research this one. There's the DC, there's the AC. Let's turn those off here. Yeah, so I'll test that. The one thing with this one too, guys, is you do get a real 100-watt output on this one, but if you use this one at the same time, it drops it down to protect that channel or that part of the board. So if you're going to use 18 watts, use the 100 here and use one of these over here. I'm pretty sure that's how this system works, because this one was the same way. If you use the 100 watts here, and you plug something in here, this part of the board drops down to protect this channel so this doesn't get overpowered. Do I like that? No, not really. But as you see, you have much more ports that you could plug it in to use, you know, the other ports if you want to charge multi. I mean, you have 6 outputs here, that's overkill for a system, but I love it. I love it. The more ports, the better, guys. The more ports, the better. But see. So we're using 100% of the energy coming in from the solar to power everything. I'm gonna turn the heater back on because, guys, like I said, it's chilly in here. I got that little ASCO thing. This little thing warms up my shop. You know, it takes a while, but it's free heat, right? See, it's all coming in free and it's all going out free. So why not, right? It doesn't cost a cycle because it's going right through. As through the not through the battery packs, it's going right into the inverter, into this bad boy. So, you know, the old saying is, if it's free, yes please, I'll take one, and maybe 2 if it's okay. But all right, guys, well, ramble on, be safe, and then I'll talk to you guys again on Rambling Bob Reviews. Bye, guys.